Hi friends, this is Suzy, your gaming guru. It is May 1st, 2022. I'm here for my Wordle of the day and for Save the Rhino Day. Now I have to let you know that, again, I ended up recording without the microphone on. So I am narrating this. I've already recorded the video and now I have to try to figure out what I was saying. I think I was talking about how these guys didn't look particularly cuddly. But we are stewards of the earth, and so it's our job, since we know rhinos are endangered, to try to protect them. And so that's going to be the inspiration for the day. So we're going to choose that word rhino. And fortuitously, we end up with a very strange placement of an O. I had thought about doing May Day and using the word dance, or the more recent form of May Day and using the word labor. And then I decided I didn't want to get into all of the political stuff that entails, so I went with rhino, and that really helped me. And now the R can only be in one of those three spots. And even though I know there's an R, because the word ends in O, I really want to put the word bingo in. I've already used up the I and the N. I know they're not in that word. So now I have to figure out what word I'm going to choose. And I've decided that maybe I'll look for the R, but I also have to figure out what other letters I want to go for. So I'm going to contemplate the vowels. This is so weird narrating myself, trying to remember exactly what happened and what my thought process was. Especially since it's just after midnight and it's not a time when I generally shine the brightest. Okay, so I've got this O, I know that. Oh, I think this is where I was talking about I want to write bingo. So now I have to come up with some consonants, and we know R, S, T, L, and E are pretty common, popular Wheel of Fortune letters, but I want to think about placing the R. And so then I get to the T and the S, and I can see right away that I can use all three of those consonants plus a couple of vowels and come up with a word that may give me a little bit of additional help. And when I say a little bit of help, that's actually what it ended up doing. Just a very little bit of help here. I got the R placed. Well, I already knew there was an R in here. Placing the R is not extremely helpful, in my opinion, at this point. I would have preferred getting another letter. That didn't happen. So we take what we can get. And so now I'm looking at this just as a whole, and I see the word Virgo pop out. And I'm thinking about putting that in, and then I realize I've already tried the I, and the I didn't work, so it cannot be the word Virgo. So go ahead and erase that, Suzy. You just, yeah, it's not Virgo. I don't know what I'm thinking here. I think I really want it to be bingo. I'm probably dwelling on that bingo thing. Even with the R placed. Alright, so now we have to think of, what can go between the R and the O? Because the first two letters, that's kind of too open-ended. But I'm thinking maybe we're limited with what can go between the R and the O. For instance, a Q doesn't go there. We can't really get a Q there. And probably not a W, but maybe an E. And then I proceed through the alphabet, and I swear, after the first, I don't know, 3 letters, I should have realized that there were just too many options. Even some that I didn't write down, like I didn't choose to put down the Z, even though I pointed out that it's not a completely unusual construction, because the 4-letter word orzo has an R-Z-O at the end. There are just too many options here. I should have just looked for more words that were unique in the letter construction. Let's do that while the alternate me is trying to figure things out. I could have done things like, I know I'm going to use the P, plume. That hadn't used any of the letters, or pluck would have worked. What did I end up doing with this? I can't even remember what my next attempt was. I think this is where I'm realizing, oh, it's just too much. I'm overwhelmed. And so I start looking at it as a whole again, and I see, it's pretty funny at this point in time. I see the word forge when, especially late at night, if I have an O and an R in there, even if I know where they're placed, I can't get those letters out of my brain. I can't look at the light gray letters and contemplate those. My brain gets stuck around the O and the R. So I'm thinking forge might work. And then I'm realizing, well, that's just absolutely ridiculous because I already know where the O is placed. But I do really want to find out about that E. I need to find something else that works in this grouping here. And so, oh, and then after I looked at the word forge, I thought forego would work. So whatever I try next, but I also think there are too many options. So whatever I try next should have at least an F, if not a G. And then I came up with the word fudge, and look at that, I've got an F and a G. And because of that, my initial idea to try the word forego becomes more firmly cemented. I do a double check to make sure I've got everything in the right spot. Don't want to make any mistakes. I want to make sure that this actually works. Yeah, we could use the O twice. Come on, Suzy. Do it. Go for it. Don't be meek. And there we go. All right, and then I start talking about how fortuitous it was that I ended up choosing the word Rhino, that I didn't go with one of the other holidays, one of the remembrances. If Maypole had fit in there, I would have gone with May Day. Because that's what I remember as my mother telling me about walking along, doing the Maypole when she was young, and lamenting that we never had that opportunity. But I used to make wreaths of flowers for my hair. So maybe I'll do that today. Maybe when the sun shines, I'll go and find some dandelions, which is about all that grows in our yard, and see about making a dandelion chain for myself and having a wreath of flowers. That's it for me. If you have any questions or comments, put those below. And as always, thank you so much for watching.